Okay. So, hi, I'm Ava Hug.
And I'm Anna Fouts. We are from Atherton. So we focused on how nuclear bombing survivors use their stories to inspire change. Um, our focus was that, and then also in order to understand that, we needed to understand the historical context behind the bombings, as well as learning about many different survivor stories to get a full picture of the impact of the bombs.
And from this, we could see how survivors used their stories to inspire change, as well as how their stories inspired others to do the same. And many have created art to express what they saw and how they felt during the attacks. And the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki have also respectfully created museums and parks to show the impact that the bombs had on the city. Okay, so we had a video, but I don't think it's gonna play. We had a video, but it's not gonna play. But basically, for our presentation to the class, we looked at the history of why the bombs were made, as well as why Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the targets for them. And then we both found survivor stories and presented them to the class for what their experience was with the bombs and how they inspired change.
Okay, so moving on from the survivor stories, we wanted to focus on how they use their voices to discuss nuclear non-proliferation. One of the organizations that use their voices a lot is Nihon Hidankyo, which was mentioned a bit earlier. They are a Japanese organization that focuses on educating about the bombs, and it's made up of hibakusha. They aim for nuclear abolition so that no one else has to go through what they did. And in 2024, they won a Nobel Peace Prize for their work and advocating for peace.
Okay, so the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum shows the reality of what happened on August 6th, 1945. And this is done through the exhibits such as the inductory exhibit and the reality of the atomic bombing. And they show Hiroshima before and after, which, as well as some personal belongings that were the victims. And this brings more humanity to the situation because it shows like just how many people were really affected. As well as there were video testimonies and temporary exhibits that helped expand on how people are still being affected because of the after effects of the bomb.
And then there is the Nagasaki Peace Park, which was made to commemorate the lives of those lost on August 9th, 1945. There are a lot of statues in the park that are reminders to visitors of the dangers of nuclear weapons, but they also are there to promote eternal peace, which is what the statue in the bottom picture represents. The pointing at the sky is to show the dangers of nuclear weapons, and then it's in a Buddhist pose, which promotes a more peaceful mindset. There are ruins of different buildings from when the bombs were set off, and they're not all there anymore, but there are pieces of them still, which helps to come together with the statues to create a very immersive place where people can learn a lot about the importance of nuclear non-proliferation. For our student project, we presented to our class about this, and then we gave them a project which began with a guided notes worksheet on the video, What If We Nuke a City?, which was there to give them a little bit more context on what a nuclear bomb would do. And then we also
had them create a slideshow about a survivor, including the survivor's experience, how they inspired change, and what the students learned. And here you can see the students created a slide for the background of what caused people to be downwinders, the background of Hiroshima, and one of the survivor stories from a Pacific Islander. And you can see the students presenting there. We have pictures of that. Is it still me? Yes. Okay. As a reflection, throughout the research for our presentation, we learned the harmful effects of nuclear weapons, and we looked at the damage and health effects that stem from direct contact with the bombs, and as well as the fallout from them, as well as researching why Hiroshima and Nagasaki were chosen.
So Hiroshima was one of the targets because it was a large manufacturing city, which would shut down a lot of production in Japan. And Nagasaki was a last minute choice because Kokura was obstructed from the pilot's view. And along with researching that, we researched the individual survivor stories so that we could focus on how they use their voices to fight for nuclear disarmament. And we learned how nuclear bombs hurt civilian populations and the indirect effects of the bombs on people nearby, whether that be Pacific Downwinders or people outside of the direct range of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs. And after the students presented their projects to the rest of the class, they were able to emphasize how storytelling affects people's understanding of what the bombs were and why it's important to speak out against nuclear nonproliferation. Thank you.